Hey, the BK Nets Cap Show is back. 2 games off. Not intentional. But, when you beat the Bobcats and you beat the Wizards, I mean, really not much to talk about. Although, of course, Darren Williams has an historic night. And I've been one of the biggest pain in the butts to Darren since he's been here. Very tough on him. One thing I have said, though, even as I've been difficult on him, is that his shooting has been better. Although his decision-making, defensive prowess has been poor for most of the season. His shooting has picked up, so not surprised to see a good shooting night out of him against the Wizards, of course. Unbelievable to go 9 of 9 early and then finish what he did. But this is not about that game. That game's over. It's supposed to beat the Wizards. You're supposed to beat them handily in your building. You're supposed to beat the Bobcats. But going to Atlanta on a back-to-back and coming away with an easy victory is an impressive win. Now, this Net team, if you heard my show in the past, I've contested all along they're a better road team than they are at Barclays. Barclays, they're soft-chinned. They take a hit at home and they fade. On the road, they just don't do it. They've got impressive road wins. Just off the top of my head, they've won in Boston, New York, Madison Square Garden. They beat the Knicks. Won in Indiana, Oklahoma City, a couple other places that are striking me. I mean, I can't count Philadelphia as an impressive road win because they stink. But the Nets have really played well, and here's another quality win on the road to beat Atlanta. I know Atlanta, you got a little break. I mean, Atlanta had a tough game last night in Boston, but you know what? We played as well. We didn't have a tough contest. They did. But here you go. You come out 11-1. I'm watching the game. The first possession of the game, it was 5 seconds into the game, and we turned the ball over. I'm like, because even in last night's win against the Wizards, there were 19 more turnovers. So I'm like, here we go. And the key to this game, is, in my opinion, is the turnovers. There were 9 turnovers. When was the last time the Nets were under double digits in turnovers? I don't remember. They've been consistently 15 to 20 turnovers a night for the last several nights. So 9 is the important statistic for me. And, 4 of those turnovers came from Blatche, who, we all know Blatche is a knucklehead. He does some silly stuff with the ball. But, when the rest of your team has 5 turnovers, when your point guard has only 1, that's impressive, especially against an Atlanta team who's quick, scrappy. Now, listen, we got some breaks tonight. Atlanta did not shoot the ball well. They had a lot of open looks, but we played some pretty good D. And Blatche, not only did he shoot the ball well, he was 9 of 11 for 18 points, but he had 4 steals, and he keyed that first run that we made to get the double-digit lead in the first half. And it was nice to see Brook help propel what Blatche did in the second quarter. Brook in the third came out and did a nice job. Brook finished with 18 points, 9 boards. I always say if you want to beat a quality team, you need to have 5 guys play well. We didn't have 5 tonight. I thought, again, we got a break because Atlanta really missed. I mean, they missed a lot of open shots. Corver was bad. He was 3 for 7. Smith, I told you I didn't want Josh Smith. And as great as he can be, look at the night he had last night against Boston. Almost a triple-double. And then tonight he's 12 points, 6 rebounds, a couple of turnovers. 4, I should say. 4 turnovers. That's why I'm not. Josh Smith, to me, is not a guy. I'm glad that the Nets didn't get him. But Teague did not play well. Devin Harris didn't play well. Johnson didn't particularly have a good game for the Hawks. But again, we got to give our boys credit. So give some credit to Darren Williams for running the show without turning the ball over. 1 turnover. He had 17 points. Didn't shoot great, but I thought he did some nice things. Of course, Joe Johnson is. If you can figure out Joe Johnson, then give me a buzz. Let me know what you got on him because Joe is remarkably ordinary on many nights. 8 points, 4 for 13. Reggie Evans, I thought, was good. You know, he only had 9 boards coming off 24, but I thought a lot of those boards were tough ones. And he made a couple of free throws, you know, to extend the lead. It was like 10, and he made 2 on one possession. So kind of an uplifting effort from him. Really, to me, it was Andre Blatche's show. I mean, he was the star of the game. There's no question. But combined, him and Lopez, 36 points, 13 rebounds combined from the center position. I mean, that's going to get it done. And it's a big win to beat Atlanta in Atlanta. Now, here's the deal, Nets. I mean, you won 3 in a row. But again, we can't make a big deal about the last 2. This is a big deal, this win. But you have 3 games now coming up that are all, you know, signature elite team wins if you get them. You know, you go to Philly. The road is never easy, but they play well on the road. Beat Philly by 20 last time we were there. You got New Orleans at home. And then you've got Atlanta at home before you go on this wicked road trip. Now, if you win the next 3, then you give yourself some leeway when you go on this brutal trip. Now, the brutal trip, 8 games, and I'm a realist. I'm not gonna, oh, we're gonna win 5 of 8. No, if you win the next 3 games, then I'll be happy with a 3-5 trip. Now, I'm gonna come on the show and I'm gonna, excuse me, battery low. I'm gonna come on the show and bitch about losses, of course, but. Now, if you go on this trip, if you slip up in Philly, you beat New Orleans, and you lose to Atlanta, then I'm gonna be pissed off, and then the trip, then you're gonna have to redeem yourselves. You're gonna have to go like 5-3 on that trip, and that's not realistic. Not that you can't do it, but it's not realistic. So do me a favor, Nets. Make the next show where we play at Philly. Make it where I don't do a show. Beat Philadelphia. Make it on, nothing special. And let's not have a show for the next 2 games. Not having a show means that we won the game, right? So keep my stupid, ugly face off the airwaves by doing what you're supposed to do, beat Philadelphia and beat New Orleans. And then hopefully, 8-9 days from now when we play Atlanta, or 7 days or whatever it is, we'll be back with a show to talk about a nice win against Atlanta, headed to this brutal road trip, the circus trip. All right, good job tonight. Talk to you guys soon. Now leave me alone.